Assalamu alaikum everyone. Hope you guys are doing well. This is Azam with Investify.com. So, in this video, I'm going to do my best to explain some Sharia compliant halal investing and what that entails, what it is, what does the Sharia says about what could be considered halal investments in the stock market. Now, as a disclaimer, all the information that's being provided is for educational purposes. These are not investment advices. I am not a financial advisor. But because at investify.com we work with individuals that have worked in this field, I believe that we should bring this educational material to everyone. So that being said, let's jump right in. Alright, what is Sharia compliant? Alright, first of all, we look at certain socially responsible halal screens. Now, a lot of this information we've taken from websites that provide such services like Azad Investments and AOFI standards. So, first of all, the focus on the lines of businesses. In halal investing, in Sharia compliant, you don't deal with industries that are in alcohol, financial services, gambling, hydraulic fracturing, pornography, prisons, tobacco, weapons. We do not deal with those at all. The second aspect is finances of the company, the financial ratios. We have to look at the interest income, excessive debt, excessive receivables, excessive cash and equivalents. So we don't deal with companies that have too much income of their being raised from interests, have too much debt, and so on and so forth. The next aspect is obviously the environmental performance, human rights, labor relations, anti-corruption, and it's important to make sure that companies are following all of these, following the financial ratios where we are not dealing with too much debt, and they're in the right line of business, and there are companies that are created for the right purposes of assisting and making the world a better place. All right, the next aspect is just going a little bit more in detail, dealing with the interests. We don't deal with insurance companies. Obviously dealt with certain industries that are considered haram: pork, tobacco, alcohol. The other aspect when it comes to Sharia standards is that there is an understanding a lot of businesses will have some part of their business that derives a certain income from these impermissible ways. So what is said is that not more than 5% of that company's income should come from sale of alcohol, tobacco, pork, so on and so forth. And if it's more than 5%, then those companies are not going to meet the standards. What we try to do at Investify is we aim for 0%. That's what we do. We try to go for the complete clean slate. That's not always possible, but we try our best. And we constantly keep an eye out if any changes occur in those companies. In addition to that, we also focus on the debt ratios. We don't want a company to have more than 30% of their company value in debt. We also want some solid liquidity and very low interest income coming in, nothing more than 5%. So let's take a look at certain examples of companies that are considered halal or Sharia compliant in the stock market. All right, Apple, a tech company. It's in the right industry, has very strong financials. Some might even say that they have a lot of cash on hand, but when you look at the overall approach of the company, it works out for them. Microsoft, another tech company, Google, Amazon, Coca-Cola, Procter and Gamble. So as you can see, a lot of tech and science companies fall in this category because they have low debt to equity ratio. They are in the right industries. They're not doing any human rights violations. So it's important to look at it from that perspective. Now, certain examples of non-compliant companies. That would be Citigroup, a bank dealing with interest, financial services. Lockheed Martin, they help create, airspace and defense. And so we're staying away from companies that are in the industry of weaponry. Netflix, now that surprises a lot of people because Netflix is a tech company, which is true, but it's the industry that it is in. They're in entertainment. And because of that, Netflix is not Sharia compliant. They have solid financials, but that doesn't matter. Las Vegas Sands and casinos, obviously not available. So now let's take a look at an example of a stock that is Sharia compliant that we sent out as an alert to our students and how it has performed in just a matter of weeks. So here's an example of one of the companies that we were focused on, which is XPO. Now, XPO is a shipping and logistics company. It has a market cap of 6.6 billion. And since we bought it, let's take a look what's happened with this company. We decided to send this alert a few weeks ago at the price of $49.33. And in the week of April 28, this stock was triggered. Since then, today it is June 10th, 2017, in less than 2 months, the stock has risen in value by over 20%. So that's the interesting thing. We look for opportunities in the stock market for companies that are Sharia compliant and they're very solid companies, and then we look for the right opportunities to buy them where you can make a ton of money, a great return on investment. And people think that just because a stock is Sharia compliant or halal, that your returns might be smaller. Well, that's contrary to the fact that you can actually make really amazing returns. An example for last year for a Sharia compliant company was Nvidia. Nvidia went last year in 2016, it hit $24.75, and today in just 18 months it has reached to over $168. So if you just keep a pure ethical approach to investing, you can still make phenomenal returns in the market. And that's where we at Investify assist people. We tell you exactly which stocks to buy, at what price to buy them, what price to keep your stop losses at so that your risk is very minimal, how much to risk per position if based on your account size, and then see how the returns turn out. And more times than not, we have these kind of returns where these stocks in just a matter of weeks are moving 15, 20, 30, 40% returns, and they're also Sharia compliant. And our goal with our service is to provide this transparency in the market where you get access to such stocks where you feel a peace of mind, where you feel like your values are not being compromised in any way when you want to invest in the stock market and you want to have a better idea of what's happening. We also keep an eye for what's happening with the market as a whole. So we would be taking a look at the S&P 500 and we'd be looking, hey, is there a crash coming or not? And if so, how do we hedge our positions? So do we go for something with like gold? Do we invest more in gold? What do we do? So that's the beauty of if you take the right pure approach to investing. If your intention is to invest well, but at the same time not compromise your values, then Investify is the place for you guys. I hope this video helps you guys get a better understanding of how ethical investing, halal Sharia compliant investing works. And it's such a powerful way to look at it that in the long run, this thing can be incredibly valuable. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you so much. Have a great day. Assalamu alaikum.